or made than born. Okay,
Yes.
so before the next person speaks, Ogo, Samuel, Emmanuel, open all those, by all of you there in that group, except Tammy. Tammy is the only one listening. I don't know if Ed is listening. So, First Chronicles, you see that number 1 to 6? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of you, open 1 to 4 of leader. Not now. So give somebody, does anybody want to respond to leaders being born or being made? They are just going to open the Bible verses at the top. The leader one, numbers 1 to 4. Okay, so I think it could be any, like Favelin. I'm going to go with what Favelin said, because it's not, even though some leaders are made, it's not all the time that leaders are made. Some have leadership skills, but to agree with you, behavioral theories say that, like in the circular world, in studies, say that leaders are more made than born. So that people become leaders through the process of teaching and learning and observation, more than the natural leadership skills. Okay, so the reason why I asked that is to ask, who is a leader in here? If you feel that you are a leader, let me see your hand. We have only, you lead your, no. Okay, so no, not just yourself. So that's why we started with what's the definition of leadership, right? Or being a leader. Being a leader, there has to, if I say I'm leading and I'm going, I look behind me, there's nobody there. Who am I leading? I'm just leading myself. So I think that's why we started from definition of leadership, or who a leader is. A leader is somebody who carries people. Yes, my sis. You're a leader, okay?
I'm a mom, so I lead my children.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm a
right?
leader.
So let's try that again. How many leaders are in here? So even those of us who raised our hands are not convinced. And that's the core of tonight's message. That is the core of tonight's message, that we are all leaders, one way or another. So there are leaders who lead officially. There are people, when you look at the definition of leadership, when we go through scriptures, leadership is service. When you're a leader, you serve. When you're a leader, you influence people. And if there's anybody in your life that can be influenced by your behavior, then you're a leader. So if you take nothing out of tonight's message, it's the fact that you're a leader. I listen to some leadership podcasts and all that, and they say the same thing. They go to a place and they say, how many leaders are here? And like 10% raise up their hands. They're like, no, we've all got it wrong, because everybody is a leader one way or another. You could be leading your children. It could be one person you are leading. Anybody that you're able to influence, in that sense, you're leading them, maybe unconsciously. I don't know, does anybody disagree with that? We're all leaders, and we need to change our mindset so that we start doing it right, so that we start carrying ourselves more consciously. All right, so let's give the microphone to those guys over there. Let's read. So I want to shift focus now to the concept of service. The Bible doesn't talk about leaders that often. Anytime the concept of leadership is mentioned in the Bible, it's in the context of service. Service. That's why I put that there, that leader is only mentioned in the King James Bible 6 times. That's it. Every time they're talking about a leader, they're talking about servanthood. The Bible is talking about service. Okay? So we'll read a couple of those ones. 1 Chronicles 12:27, of the few times that leader is mentioned.
This included Jehoiada.
Tell us where you're reading.
1 Chronicles 12:27.
Okay.
This included Jehoiada, leader of the family of Aaron, who had 3,700 under his command.
Okay. Yeah, just tell us where you're reading and read.
1 Chronicles 13, verse 1. David conferred with each of his officers, the commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds.
Okay, so people. Each time the word leader is mentioned there's a people involved in it. Yeah.
This is 2 Chronicles 32 verse 21. And the Lord sent an angel who annihilated all the fighting men and the comrades and officers in the camp of the Assyrian king.
Thank you.
Isaiah 9 verse 16. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and those who are led by them are destroyed.
All right, and Isaiah 55 verse 4 says that, behold, I have given him for a witness to the people, a leader and commander of the people. Matthew 15:14 says, let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. So those are the 6 times that the word leader is mentioned in the King James Version. Each time it talks about people. So people are involved in leadership. But again, every time the concept of leadership is taught in scriptures, it's about service. So let's read John 13. I don't know if we'll be able to read all of it, but because we know the story. But let's read it. John 13, 1 to 17. John 13, 1 to 17. Actually, let's read it together. All right, let's go. Now before the feast of the Passover,
when Jesus knew his hour had come, that he should depart from the world to the Father. Having loved us on who were in the world, he loved them to the end.
And supper became ended. The devil having already put it into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him. Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God and was going to God, rose from the supper and laid aside his garment, took a towel and girded himself. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel with which he was girded. Then he came to Simon Peter, and Peter said to him, Lord, are you washing my feet? Jesus answered and said to him, what I am doing you do not understand now, but you will know after this. Peter said to him, you shall never wash my feet. Jesus answered, if I do not wash your feet, you have no part with me. Simon Peter said to him, Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head. Jesus said to him, he who is bathed needs only to wash his feet, but is completely clean, and you are clean, but not all of you. For he knew who would betray him. Therefore he said, you are all not clean.
So we get the gist of that. Help us turn to 1 Peter 5. 1 Peter 5. When we see what Jesus did there, that's the first time, that's the only example he gave of leadership, of what being a leader is. He said,
shepherd.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's the only example Jesus gave of leadership, where he gave a practical example to show the disciples. He said, I am your leader, but this is what I'm doing to show you that this is truly what leadership is about. You know what? It's so easy to say, oh, leadership is service. But when you think about how people hustle for title, not just in the world, but in the church. I was somewhere with the pastor's wife the other day, and she said that somebody actually wrote a letter to her husband saying that, why is it that you have not ordained people deacon in this church since the year this? Like, you could tell that, and it was an anonymous letter, right? Because the person wanted to hide who they were or whatever. Like, they were hustling for the title of a deacon. If there's no big deal, if leadership is service, then why is it that people are hustling for it? Why not just serve? Right? Because these things is easy to say, but it's happening even in the church, where people are seriously hustling for that title. So maybe somebody can help us answer why that is. But that's the definition of leadership, an example that we can give of what Jesus said. Let's read what it's not, then we can take comments. So 1 Peter 2:2-3. Yeah, read please.
Shepherd the flock of God which is amongst you, serving as overseers, not by compulsion but willingly, not for dishonest gain but eagerly, nor as being lords over those entrusted to you, but by being examples to the flock.
Okay, so because sometimes when I hear people hustling for titles, there has to be something in it that I don't know. There has to be some benefit. So what do you know what the benefit is?
I think one thing people want is to be recognized for what they do, because if not, everybody can just be doing it. But if they don't have a specific, oh, we know this is a person that's always doing this, so therefore we're going to crown them this person. And so it's just more for recognition and to feel like people are seeing what they're doing.
Absolutely. So that could be one reason why people want it, recognition. But as we've seen, Jesus is saying that's not the point of leadership. Leadership is service, before anything. Any questions or comments? Yes, blessing. Favoline, blessing before you talk. Favoline, and your sister. I don't know her name. Can you please open Ezekiel 22:30 and then Jeremiah 5:1 and 2 Chronicles 16:9. Someone else. 2 Chronicles. So we'll read that. Ezekiel 22:30, Jeremiah 5:1, 2 Chronicles 16:9. Yes, blessing. What's your comment?
I just wanted to say, based on John 13, verse 3, where it said, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things unto his hands, and that he had come from God and was going to God, he rose from supper and laid aside his garments. So I just wanted to say that Jesus knew who he was. He knew who he was in God, so he didn't see it as something belittling him when he washed his